Money and career matters are on the move, Pisces, in October of 24. And you can listen today for your sun, moon, and rising sign. Your sun sign can be about your career and purpose matters. Your moon sign, your home, safety, body, and mind. Are you disturbed or at peace? And the rising sign is often quite typically the most accurate, but you can listen for all three versions of reality. Welcome to this month ahead. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses. Fixed stars and minor asteroids are part of my regular fare on my channel. If you'd like to get more of that kind of content, please consider liking, subscribing, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. The only thing I'm sharing with you as a promotion is that my 2025 videos for each sign and the bundle of videos is on a pre-sale price right now. If you want to get that material ahead of everybody else, it will be released to you early in the month of November, and I am producing that content in October, and you get the pre-production price. So check my description box below. Those are a part of how I raise money to support the equipment I need for my channel. Every single year, I create these videos for your sign for all of the year of 2025. These are up to 2 hours long, and I've ordered it chronologically by quarters this time around. And I'm having a lot of fun getting those things ready for you guys. So check it out in the description box below, a description to what that's all about. This pre-sale price will end on November the 1st. You get it now or you don't get it at all. Thanks for listening to that little intro of my stuff, and let's go ahead and talk about what's happening for your sign. Now, I've gotten into the habit lately of showing you the sky because people have asked me to do that. I want you to grab a pen or a paper or something in which you can record or jot these down, or just remember to save this video for later, because I do this in two ways. I'm going to talk about what the planets are doing: Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, like what they're up to for you relative to your whole sign house system version of reality. And then I'm going to talk about delineating the day, month, in chronological order. So we start with the big picture, and then we move to the small picture. So here we have the sky. Let's pull it right up. And we see we're set for Pisces on the eastern horizon. And let's get talking about this story. First of all, we have a lot of planets in debility this month. I'll be doing an overview video on that. Unfortunately, we're going to end up with, Venus in Scorpio, where we have Mars in Cancer, for example, and Jupiter in Gemini. A lot of detriment will be hitting us in the month of October, as well as, of course, the eclipse. So we're going to talk about breaking down what you really need to know in our next 25 minutes together. And remember, this is general bell curve astrology. Now, first of all, let's talk about the small, fast-moving guys like Mercury and Venus and what that might mean for you. Mercury is typically about 3 weeks in a sign, and between October the 1st to the 12th, he will be moving through the territory called Libra, which is what we would call money, chunky money in addition to money. Like, you don't earn the money. You may get a tax rebate, an insurance payout, an investment takes off, some kind of inheritance shows up. So this kind of money is where Mercury is pretty happy playing around in. He's the god of commerce. And so when he's in your 8th house between October the 1st and the 12th, you can consider this an auspicious window of time. In fact, he got into this part of your sky back in the month of September. So ultimately, this is a good time for dealing and wheeling and regarding money matters, maybe restructuring your savings accounts, your tax structures. And when he's here, he can bring you some news or information about money that you've been saving, investing, or share with your spouse or business partner. He's really good in this kind of zone of influence normally to bring you also some kind of commercial success. But I want to note the South Node is here, and that could indicate as well to be very cautious regarding losses financially, especially in stock market environments or co-shared monies with your spouse type thing. But nonetheless, he is in a minor dignity here. And finally, he's going to collide with the asteroid Juno. And just as a principle, having him with Juno, in the first week or so, October 1st to the 12th, you could have agreements, contracts, and vows that you're going to create around money matters, maybe a new legal agreement or a new vow or agreement with the spouse, especially around money matters and how you guys spend that money. On October the 13th to November the 1st, October 13th to November the 1st, Mercury moves into the sign of Scorpio. Now, he is going to be here in a 9th house placement for you. This is about foreign shores, foreign lands, far off places, universities, colleges, legal and court matters. Mercury here can dispense news that you got into your favorite school of choice, news that your book publishing deal and Rules Publications is going to go through. The visa you want is ready to go. Your travel visa. Mercury here is also really good for things to do with travel. He protects the travelers, and this is a house of far off and foreign shores. You might want to travel to a far off and foreign shore while Mercury is moving through the sign of Scorpio. And if you do, have a wonderful time. You will be very well protected. And Mercury is also in a place that can be connected to your third marriage environment. And if you're in a long-term committed cohabitational live-in long-term love story, third marriage, this means you'll be busy having a lot of communications within the context of that relationship that go particularly well because this flows to you in a trine. So you're having a lot of discussions in those environments. Spirituality and spiritual community may be important to you between October the 13th and November the 1st. Keep that in mind. You might be having a lot of conversations, communications, or engagements socially with spiritual community of some sort during that window of time. On Venus's narrative, we see that she starts off the month of October sitting in the sign of Scorpio. And in Scorpio, she is in her detriment, what we would say a sign of exile. She's not very strong here. And in that sense, as she moves through the sign of Scorpio, she's feeling a little bit like she's trying her best to give you a lot of support, both financially and in pleasure when it comes to travel, when it comes to third marriages, when it comes to things to do with academics or book publishing environments. And yet she's kind of not in her best form. So keep in mind that while she is attempting to give you some support, she's not her strongest. Good news is, we'll get to that later, she will be flowing to Mars, and that's quite exceptional for you. And I can't wait to tell you about that. Now, one thing about Venus up here is that you may also find that legal and court matters are going to go well, but not as well as you want. So judges, lawyers, court and legal documents and things like that are trying to improve during her stay on the 13th of October to November. On September 22nd to October the 1st. I'm sorry. She's there from September the 22nd to October the 1st. And October the 16th. This is what happens. I decided to reverse the order. Pisces, you're first, and now Aries is last this month in my recording schedule. So sorry. September the 22nd to October the 1st. So bottom line is she starts off the month already there. And she will be there until the 16th. OMG, forgive me, for I have sinned. Okay, try to write this down in a big, bold highlighter on my notes. Moving forward, she moves on September the 17th to November the 10th into your 10th house. Now, your 10th house is your career, and I said money and career matters were highlighted. That's because we'll be talking about the eclipse here later and Mercury there, but holy man, no matter what, Venus, and she's not in debility in Sagittarius, in your 10th house, gives you a nice little career glow up. And the glow up of your career could indicate between September 17th and November 10th, raises, promotions, advancements, fun at work, social life at work, and for some of you, office romances. If you're a single Pisces, you can meet somebody in a career or work setting. What about Mars? This month, he's moving through the sign of Cancer. Well, he'll be there until November the 4th. He got there September the 4th. Mars in debility. Mars in his fall in this sign. Nonetheless, he's attempting to create change and momentum for you in matters connected to romantic and sexual love, as well as your relationship to fertility and children, creativity, art, and entrepreneurial business endeavors. And he's a go-getter, and he's very competitive. And he's very competitive, particularly in the 5th house of competition. And if there's something you need to be competing at to win, and you want to really have a chance to win something, and I don't mean like a lottery, I mean like a competition, like of some sort, like a job competition, anything that's like a real competition, you against another, then you're going to find that this is going to be good for you. So your competitive spirit increases, and you might find that useful to know that he's there all through the month of October. When he's here as well, watch for difficulties with a child. This would be maybe arguments, or maybe moving away from, the child moves from home, or some difficulty around separation regarding children. It's not an ideal transit for conception. Mars is the ruler of miscarriages. I wouldn't try to conceive a baby. Well, the time he is traveling here for the month of October, I'd push it out until he gets out of your fifth house on November the 4th, just being helpful for you there. And then we talk about Jupiter. Well, Jupiter is sitting forever in your fourth house. That's till next June. And he is in detriment as well, but he is still Santa Claus, and he's trying to bring you luck and opportunity and growth and goodness and love and hope and faith and all kinds of positive vibes. Children in the home, from the home, prosperity in the home, from the home, still during the month of October. However, he does turn retrograde October the 9th. This is going to be the beginning, therefore, of a 4-month period in which you may find yourself looking inward for what true wealth means to you, finding your self-reversing course on matters to do with property, land, home, and real estate opportunities. Maybe taking something back that you've already done and deciding you don't want to do it, like taking your house off the listing market, or some things that you've already created as he's been moving through here since May. You're going to change your mind or direction on, perhaps. Starting October 9th, add 4 months. Pluto is going to move direct on October the 11th. Oh, I mean to also add, if you're looking for an inheritance, not that everyone's looking for an inheritance, but with an eclipse in your 8th house this month and Mercury there to start the month, there's a possibility of inheritance news coming through, or money from your spouse's life coming through as an inheritance for both of you, or money from your spouse coming your way that's kind of like an inheritance. And you know what I mean, right? I mean, some people don't stay alive forever. So that could be a story that I would say you could see starting up here in the month of October. Pluto goes direct, the god of death and rebirth, October the 11th, in the sign of Capricorn. And this is going to indicate forward momentum, the last gasp of what's trying to happen in that 11th house of good spirit. I don't want to delineate it here. You go ahead and watch my Pluto and Capricorn last in a lifetime era changing video, but it is his turnaround. And so something's moving forward in your life around great career gains, karmic rewards, friendship circles, and groups of belonging. Something has got forward direction for you at this time. Now let's break down the month bit by bit and get a pen and paper so you can have it handy. I think that what I'd say for you as well, to remind you, you're ruled by Jupiter. You're his, pawn on the game board, right? He's the planetary lord of your sign. And knowing that you're ruled by Jupiter is a simple indication that when Jupiter goes retrograde, you go inward. You are going to spend more time in deeper introspective matters to do with what real wealth, real joy, real faith, what real prosperity and hope and plenty mean to you. And it's not a small deal for you. It is a big deal. All righty. Now I'm going to break it down bit by bit for the month ahead. Let's get started. On October the 1st and 2nd, let's just start right there. We're coming off of the Mercury Cazimi that was really intensely activating on the 29th. And I mean, let's say October 1st. Let's make it simple. On the 30th and October 1st, we're coming off Mercury in the heart of the sun. And there's a new button reset that's happening for you. Mercury is resetting the way you deal. You'll feel it October 1st, the way you deal with your chunky money and the way you deal with the way you and your spouse or long-term partner or business partner handle shared resources. So keep in mind the reset button starts October 1st, but hey, it's going to last, up to 6 weeks where you begin to see what it's about, what it really means for you. There's also that eclipse on October 2nd where Mercury and the sun are together. And we will also see the moon activating that eclipse. And I'm not going to always move the chart forward, but for you, I will at this point. And if you know what you're doing, you can visualize the sky. So this is a solar eclipse which involves itself in a Cazimi aftermath. How are you going to deeply and profoundly reset the way you operate with those life savings, those investment monies, those inheritance monies, those spousal shared resources over the next year? Because a new reset button, a portal of change from a solar eclipse at 10 degrees of the sign of Libra is in play for you. I'll be doing a whole eclipse video on that, but this is a reset button you've been working with ever since the Libra eclipse in the fall of 23. On October the 4th, we're going to find Venus getting herself all loved up in a beautiful trine, a glorious trine to Saturn. Well, she's also beginning to flow to Mars energetically between October the 4th and October the 9th. There's a grand trine operating in your sky, and it's going to feel pretty positive despite the planetary detriments. You may be able to move into a state of flow between October the 4th and 9th regarding matters to do with life purpose, creativity, art, children, travel, foreign lands, visas, legal matters, good luck coming through the sky, expansion, when it looks at what you want to seriously consider important to you. You are Saturn. You are serious about this. You want to have the luck, the prosperity, and the expansion. And you've got a backbone now to get your dreams come true. A little wish fulfillment energy can operate for you October the 4th to about the 9th or 10th as this trine begins to become more deep in the sky. And when Venus flows to Mars, if you're single looking for love, this could initiate a brand new romance, usually from long distance travel or doing some fun social events or leisure travel, or even through things that have to do with your children, maybe introducing you to someone, that kind of thing. So it could bring a new romance to your life for sure. If you are already single and looking for love, great. And if you're in a marriage partner, it could stimulate more fun, more play, more sexual romantic energy between you and the one you're with, especially if you want to consider in the connection to travel to foreign shores and leisure travel and romantic travel with someone you're already in a relationship with. Looks really positive on the 4th to the 10th of October. Now, while I said all that looks so great, you might notice that Mercury is in a square to Mars, and that looks a little bit like you're going to have to go to battle for something that you really want to do or make a change in. And it has to do with your children and money, your romantic partner and money, or your entrepreneurial and creative endeavors and financial matters. And there is a little bit of a turning point. The only other way it can play out in a sort of harsh energy is there may be a secret that you are becoming aware of. And it may be a secret that comes from your family of origin growing up, mom and dad, family you grew up with, and a family secret may be spilled, and it may be quite upsetting at some level. And that energy is very active also on around October the 4th. Now, Venus is really perfecting that trine more tightly on October the 7th and 9th as she comes into a really beautiful relationship. Oh, see, that's why I never spin the chart. This software doesn't let me do it. So just let me talk, okay? The software doesn't let me spin and pin to the Pisces axis. Sorry. Not that I remember. Let me double check. And I can't do it with this software. I'm pretty sure I can't do it with this software. No, I can't. So, maybe there's a way to do it. Maybe I can. I think I can do it this way. Let me try that. All right. So on October, let's see if it'll hold. Maybe it will. Sometimes I can do it. All right. So October 7th and 9th, that's when Venus is really loving up Mars in the most intensity. And I already described how that could be new romance and lovey travel opportunities with the one you're with. But when we move forward to October 13th and 14th, we begin to see some more stories emerging in the sky for you. And October 13th through the 14th kind of time frame, we have a beautiful flow between the Sun and Jupiter. And for you, Sun and Jupiter energy is really about the way you're going to prosper from money coming from real estate, property, and home matters, especially if you're trying to buy or sell a home. This 8th house, 4th house axis is really lit up, and you might find yourself able to possess some new real estate, a home, a property, sell a property, buy a property, etc. Now, I lost the whole sign kind of system just to pin Saturn to the ascendant, so bear with me. I realize this is why I don't spin the wheel for you guys, because it's impossible with this software. If I was using this Jupiter trine Sun conjunct Juno energy wisely, I think I would sign documents legally regarding inheritances, nuptials, prenuptials, use your wisdom quotient. Mercury is flowing to the marriage house. And I would think you might find yourself engaged here in some kind of investment property opportunities as well. And you might also, because Jupiter's retrograde, be thinking about returning back to some property opportunities from the past and making them happen. We also know that the Sun and Mars are square, of course, and so there's still that tension with a child, a romantic partner, a creative project on the stall, October 13th and 14th. We have a little challenge with kids coming through again. October the 14th to the 15th. This is when Venus will be opposite Uranus. Now, this is an intense energy here, right? Because Uranus is on fixed star Algol, and that's the off with their heads, deheaded, but beheaded Medusa. Be careful here. Be like write down a little note on your calendar. Be careful around October 14th and 15th. Yes, she is trining Neptune. That's positive. This means some dreamy visions for what you want to make real in your life can come true through travel, foreign lands, visas, book publishing, academic settings. But this opposition, in which forms a wedge to a off with their heads, has to be watched out for. Some shocking, surprising developments may occur, or disruptions of travel plans with siblings, or educational plans go a little bit awry. But ultimately, because she's flowing to Neptune, there's some kind of underpinning of bringing something forward, like a dream comes true, even though there's surprises or unexpected events. Cousins, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, younger sibling can be playing a very large role in what's going on that surprises you. And the surprise energy is happening on the 13th, 14th 14th, 15th time frame. On the 17th of October, there is Venus trining Pluto. It's kind of a nice thing for money and wealth, but if you're going to get that money and wealth, it may connect to friends, allies, benefactors, and rich people in your social circles, as well as money or wealth from the sibling older than you by one age up. You may also find that you could have a little uptick in your finances connected to insurances, taxes, things to do with what did I just say? What date am I on? I'm going to just jump the chart ahead. I'm having a moment. Yes, I am, because I don't usually spin the wheel here. Yeah. Oh, I meant Venus sextile Pluto. I apologize. So Venus sextiles Pluto. You may find yourself with this situation being able to really level up something to do with good financial opportunities, but connected to education, travel, and people who you consider to be, richer or powerful people who benefit you. They're like your allies. They're really here to help you. They want to support you in something. It's not a bad time for you also to prevail legally in some matter that also pays off for you financially, and you could get some money out of this story. Legal settlements can look good for you at this time and be surprisingly positive. Sorry about the kerfuffle there. Moving into, I'm not usually this scattered, sorry. October the 23rd to the 25th. Now, Mars is playing a big role let's move it back to October 22nd. Before we get to that, October 22nd, this is where we see the energy here of Mercury in a sextile to Saturn. Mercury is just about the news most of the time. Okay, that's about it. And Saturn is about what it takes form and has structure. And I'm not ever going to spin the wheel using the system. It's going to drive me nuts. But Mercury is in your ninth house. And that's about news connected to legal matters, foreign shores and lands, visas, book publishing deals, and educational matters. And there's a bit of a news pop going on, and it feels good and you like it, and it feels lucky. And that news pop with Mercury also co-present with the Sun can also be about career matters as well, connected to the ninth house themes. And you're trying to make something real, and you're working on something from the past because Saturn's retrograde, and you want to give it form, you want to give it a backbone. And now you have this opportunity. For instance, you might find yourself finally finding a publisher, and now you have a form because a book comes into the world. You might find yourself finally finishing up legal matters that have been taking a while from the past, and good news as things begin to complete, especially regarding courts and judges, etc. On October the 8th, the 23rd to the 25th, all right, Mars is playing a very important role for you in your sky. So you're going to see that Mars will enter into around the 24th, the 26th degree of Cancer, and he becomes very acquainted with or flowing to the planet Uranus. And this is a sextile. And then the question is, what is it you're going to create from the sextile? Because it takes your energy and asks you to meet it halfway, meet it halfway somehow. You could have an opportunity to travel. You could have a surprising and exciting opportunity to get a creative project off the ground. You could have a little bit of an exciting viral moment in social media land. You could have a really great opportunity to do something with one of your children or with a sibling or an aunt, uncle, cousin. And because Mars is in the house of leisure travel, fifth house matters, you may also have a leisure travel opportunity because pleasure, leisure travel, Mars in the sky during October the 23rd to the 25th. And then as we move into the next part on the 26th or so, then he begins, as we move forward, to make a stronger connection to Neptune. Now, Neptune is here, and you can see there's a mini triangle forming called a mini grand trine, which kind of makes the whole of October 23rd to the 30th auspicious, very positive for you. It is all very much about the flow. And the flow asks you to make things happen in the Taurus part of your sky, and that's your third house. And what could happen with the apex planet Uranus is an unexpected, surprising educational or travel opportunity, or online social media opportunity, or some surprising developments with a neighbor that are positive. I'll open up flow in your life between your children, your lover, your creative projects, and you as you manage and handle all of those things. Mars is the ruler in your chart of ninth house matters, and he's the one creating part of the flow. It is very possible that there's opportunities for long distance or foreign land travel because of this sky. And if so, this could be extremely auspicious. Or for those of you, Pisces, involved in writing and publications areas, very positive and lucky outcomes from the mini grand trine that forms October the 23rd to the 30th. Thank you for listening, Pisces. I hope that's useful. Don't forget, if you want to get the all signs video, it's 2 hours long. It's broken down by quarters, so you're in a chronological breakdown of 2025 for your sign, and it will include a PDF document outlining my thoughts on the year ahead for you, so you can use that little bit of an extra edge of the kind of guidebook as well. So PDF guidebook for the year ahead as well of 25. Check out the only found in October pre-sale window opportunity to buy the product before it arrives on your doorstep in early November, on November, hopefully the 1st, but early November. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for listening. Ciao, ciao.